NJ's Journey. This is your girl Shan, and today I thought that we would do a book review. I read this book because I am in love with Divorce Court and Miss or Judge or Your Honor Lynn. I think she is phenomenal and worth my admiration. I'm not out here giving my admiration to any and anybody. Personally, Letters to the Daughter I Never Had. Now let's give you some background to this book. It has 32 chapters, but trust me, it's an amazing and quick read. You'll finish it in no time, especially if you get the audio book, which is pretty cheap. I think it's like $8 US. This lady talks about so many things, but I think her biggest lesson, or my biggest takeaway, was to find yourself. To be a woman, I think she was saying the only thing you can do for yourself as a woman is to find yourself. Know who you are, and don't let that little girl who you were, or that little girl will always be inside of you, but don't let that little girl control the woman you want to be, you're trying to be, you're aspiring to be, and I loved that she didn't base the book mainly about men. She didn't have a whole chapter on men. She had a chapter on relationships, I think, or something like that. But I found it pretty phenomenal that she was talking about mainly reaching your goals, knowing what you want, working for what you want, and as a woman. So she's saying that these are the things that she would tell her daughter, and I figured that she would tell her, look, life is not about these men. We got them. Some of us females, we need them, but it's not only about them. Yes, they play an integral part in our lives and we love them, but who are you first? Make sure that you, as a woman, as a wife that you will be, as a young lady, is secure. And I loved that about the book. She went on to talk about so many things, but I'll get into just a few. Don't let your family tree be a casualty of casual sex. Don't let any fool dip into your gene pool, right? And this stood out to me because sometimes you see these girls out there and they are living their best life, well, in society's standards. If you listen to some of our music, you'll wonder, what are they telling the children of tomorrow to do? You know what I mean? And so I'm constantly perplexed by this overly expression of sexuality, and you gotta wear your availability on your face and have relations with people like it's nothing. Even when I'm watching Divorce Court, some of these girls are with this person for like 6 months and they're with a 6-month-old. When the hell did you get pregnant? Like, when? Tell me. I just don't get it. And that stood out to me because it was so well worded. But then she said, listen to me, don't let any fool dip into your gene pool. It's not any and anybody you can say, okay, I want to bring forth your child, or I want to be your wife. Come on, man. They gotta work for that shit. And when I say work, I don't just mean carry you on 2 dates and They were even late and you were like, oh, but he's so handsome. Really? Now, the other thing she said was, you are not the sum of your mistakes, right? What learn from your mistakes. Don't let them add up to be who you are. They don't define you. That's basically what she's saying. And she continued to say that you are more valuable than the outcome of your struggle suggests. You are neither what you have done poorly nor what you have failed to do at all. You are who you choose to be from this moment forward. So, okay, last week, let's talk about last week, right? Something happened, you made some mistakes that you aren't so proud of. What do? Wallow in them? Say like, oh, this is who people know me to be and this is what people will think and my life is over? Come on, girl. Pull that socks up, brush off that dust, and decide to be different today. Decide to make changes now that will make your life better in the future. Don't sit and be like, oh, this is what they know me to be, so this is what I'm going to be, or this is who people think I am, so I'm going to continue on this street. No, that's not how it goes. You are not the sum of your mistakes. Say it with me. You are not the sum of your mistakes. Come again, can't hear you. You are not the sum of your mistakes. She also went on to say that when faced with criticism, and you might see me looking sideways because it's on my laptop, but she said, when faced with criticism, we all tend to fall in one of the 3 Ds. This one hit home for me personally. She said, defense, right? And I'll talk about them one by one. Deflection, deflation, right? And then she said, they're noise that drown out growth. Got it? I remember all the time when I was given constructive criticism, I would be so defensive from the get-go. And then now that I can look back and say, I shouldn't have done that, I can see where I went wrong, but during the time I couldn't see it, And I liked that she said all of this is noise that drown out growth. You're not able to grow if you cannot take criticism. That's point blank period what she's saying, right? Deflection. You feel like, oh, it's not about me or whatever, and then you get deflated. You're like, what am I going to do now? This is, the worst thing ever. But the aim is, and all of us, everybody, our aim should be, how are we going to grow from this step? Okay, we're at step A or step 1. How do we get to step 2, step B? You know what I mean? And I don't mean just get to step 2 without making an impact. Do it so that people can say, she girlfriend, you see that thing that we did that time there? Yeah. You can see the growth in her or him, Don't allow the 3 Ds to consume your life or to prevent you from becoming who you are truly to be. And then I'll follow up with her next point where she said, make noise wherever you can, right? And I remember in final year in college, somebody came and they said, if it is that you go to a new school to teach and somebody don't look to you and say, I come to take over a school, then you are not making an impact. You're wasting your time, right? So make noise wherever you go, saying put your best foot forward all the time, so that when people see it, people can see the impact that you're trying to leave and appreciate it. And even if they don't appreciate it, someone else will give you the praise. She continued to say that if you are loud enough, opportunities may find you, right? And again, I can call back on that same point where that person said, listen to me, if you are not making any noise in the area that you're working, then who else is going to want to work with you? If you're not making any impact in this environment that you are in, then people are going to watch you wallow there, when you can be here and you can get so much more opportunities because of the good that you're doing in another position or another field. Get what I'm saying? Right? She continued again by saying, if you do your best, go beyond what's expected. And I love that because I'm lazy too, so I'm doing the bare minimum some of the time. Right? What did I leave out? This part's not a shocker. She went on to say, you can't make people do right by you, but you can decide how often you let them do you wrong. And I'm going to repeat that. You can't make people do right by you, but you can decide how often you let them do you wrong. All right? Simply put, if they are messing around with you, then leave them in the past and go on with your life. Especially if you're in a relationship and that person isn't doing right by you. Why are you there wasting your time? Why? Tell me. What? The potential? Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Who Derek Jack said, don't fall in love with potential. Fall in love with patterns. Go do some research on that. Alright. Then she said, that was it? That was it. I wanted to play a little part of her book to you. I'll see what I can do.
I've been left by a number of dudes. I don't remember all of their names. Dear Sonali, it happens. Relationships end. You never truly know how compatible you are with someone until you're with them for a while. That means if you're being discerning and intelligent, you'll run into a lot more failure than success. Just because he's the guy you've got doesn't mean he's a guy you need to make it work with. Never make a man tell you he doesn't want you more than once.